Hello, my fellow chairs. I am currently in a Chinese civil war in November 11th, 1444. And not only that, this is me. I'm the smallest guy in all of China right now. And not only that, I am taking up the mantle of the Tang dynasty in hopes to restore its empire back to its height and restore a golden age to China once again. Now, before we secure our independence from the Ming dynasty, let's talk about a way to secure your information from harm. The sponsor for today's video, Incogni, is a service that protects your information from data brokers. Now, I hear you asking yourself, Chairman, what are data brokers? Why should I care so much? Well, they're companies that gather your personal information and sell it to other companies. They collect information such as your name, your address, your court records, and in some really extreme cases, social security numbers to sell to other companies for their own use. Oftentimes, this ends up in the hands of scammers that use your information for harm. For example, many Americans, such as myself, are routinely harassed by spam callers, spam emails, all because of the existence of people search sites that collect too much information. It's a huge problem here in the US. I dealt with this regularly as a homeowner, as I would receive random texts, emails, or calls. It's just constant every single day. And that is just simply because somehow, some way, my personal information got out there. Now, Incogni is a service that reaches out to all these data brokers on your behalf with your approval, and using automation, they request the removal of your information because this is automated. Incogni never rests and is constantly removing your personal information from these harmful websites while you rest easy knowing that your information, your privacy, is completely safe. Incogni now has a new feature known as custom removals, where you go ahead, copy a link containing your information, you submit it to your Incogni dashboard, and they go ahead, check to see if it's eligible for them to go ahead and request for removal. And once it's been removed, then they will go ahead and email you the result. If securing your information and protecting your privacy is important to you, which I know it should be, then I highly recommend you to sign up for Incogni using my link in the description down below and my code, the chairman, that will give you a 60% discount on their annual plan purchase. With all that being said, let's get back to the video. Now, in order to help us out in this huge task that we're going to have to do, we're going to have to choose our very first government reform here. We are starting out as a princedom, but with this reform right here, the Chinese kingdom, it allows us to become a kingdom with a fixed dynasty and gives us the unified China CB, which, if you're unfamiliar with that casus belli, all you have to do is just simply occupy a Chinese province using this CB, and you get a core on that province, which allows you to basically rapidly gobble up all of China, like super fast. Now, if you don't use this CB, you're not going to be able to get those cores, and again, this is only on the Chinese sub-region or subcontinent. In the EU4 map modes. You cannot use this on Russia, for example, just a very out there example. It's only China. Now, some of the other additional bonuses that we get from this government reform is manpower recovery speed plus 25%, 50% liberty desire, and 500 governing capacity. Some of the additional things that are going to help us out here is the fact that we have 100% crown lands, which means we can hand out all the monarch privileges right at the start of the game here, which is fantastic. That's going to give us a huge boost in all of our technology. Now, at the very start here, we are making roughly a ducat, which means that we can afford an advisor after the first month ticks and we actually get some advisors. Now, my current ruler is a 414. This is actually not that bad. I'm focusing on mil. I have that military monarch point from our nobility, so we are getting 10 mil a month. Now, we are trying to get to military tech 4 before Ming even sniffs military tech 4. On top of that, there's a chance that we could get up to military tech 5 immediately after getting military tech 4, and I'll show you guys that a little bit later, but I will let you guys know it has something to do with this mission right here, Fall of the Great Ming. What I'm just going to go ahead and do immediately, and this is what I recommend, is our trade node is the Xi'an trade node here. So we are going to send a merchant over to Chengdu, transfer trade power, Hangzhou. We're also going to do transfer trade power as well. And I'm going to improve relations with Shu over here, Dali, and Qi. And I'm just going to hit speed 5 as we do have a truce with Ming for the next 5 years. We'll just kind of see how everything plays out in the next 5 years. Maybe Oirat invades them. Maybe the Ming goes after Oirat. You never know. Or maybe one of these other subjects grows a pair and decides to break free from China before I do. Now I have my Miltech advisor. He's a Morale of Armies guy. 11 mil a month. Pretty darn good in 1445. Now, I'm not going to be hiring any troops anytime soon. I'm not taking out any loans, not hiring anybody. And that's just simply because I don't want to go into debt. We're going to accumulate a little bit more money. And we also have like no manpower at the start here. So really no need to go ahead and go into debt for that reason. Or building up these troops. Once we're ready to invade Ming and break away from these guys, we will go ahead and build up our troops. But for right now, I'm not worried about it. I don't think you should be worried about it either. Now, a couple things that are very important to be on the lookout for here is the Mandate of Heaven. You want to invade Ming after they pass a celestial reform. It basically makes their army complete garbage. It's absolute garbage. If we look at the mandate below 50 here, they get less manpower, less mercenaries. Their economy goes down by with the goods produced minus 50%. They take more fire and shock damage plus 50%. And of course, all their subjects are even more disloyal. So military tech 4, of course, is the most crucial part of this entire thing. And then the second most crucial part is making sure that their mandate is below 50 in order for us to break away very easily from the Ming. Alright, so we did get military tech 4 and it's only 1448. However, again, we are waiting until Ming passes that first celestial reform, just so then that way their mandate is below 50 and it makes my life so much freaking easier, dude. Alright, our truce with Ming is over. Again, they haven't passed any reforms just yet. But I will go ahead and ally some of the other subjects, such as Shu over here. And I believe also Min would be a pretty good ally as well. Now, I will go ahead and ally the small guy, Yi, down here. They are landlocked, much like Shu, so they actually will not be able to take any land from Ming. Tier 2 government reform, I will go with strength and noble privileges. I love additional manpower. That manpower is going to be really, really useful, especially after we conquer a good amount of China here. And then all of a sudden, we're going to have like the most amount of troops that we could field in the entire world. All right, so fantastic news. I just got to military tech 5. Yes, it's been 10 years into the game. Ming just got to Mil Tech 4. 5 is very big because obviously it gives you a whole new offensive, defensive infantry unit set. Additionally, Ming finally passed the freaking reform, guys, which means I'll be invading them literally as soon as my morale goes up. I'm also going to go ahead and hire the free company here, or actually not even the free company. The young Ning warriors over here are actually even better. The Shanxi warriors or Shanxi guard, because that general's a 5-4-1-1. He's even better than the young Ning guys. Perfect. That's going to bolster up our army and we should be able to wipe the floors with the Ming troops. All right, and let's go ahead, declare our independence war. We're going to get the nations of Xi, Yi, Min, and Shu to all help us out in this war. All landlocked countries, except that Min, of course, has a navy that they can use to blockade Ming, which I don't think will be useful at all. I'm a whole mil tech ahead of these guys, and hopefully we could get free from these guys, and so we could finally start going into conquering all of China. Now, as soon as you declare your independence from Ming, you're going to go ahead and see this mission, the Fall of the Great Ming. Go ahead and highlight. Don't click on it. Do not click on this mission. You're going to get 10,000 manpower, yes. A general with 75 tradition, yes. However, if you play your cards right here, get 25% war score during this independence war. You can advance by a whole nother military tech level, meaning we could jump up to 6, while a lot of these other guys are still around 3, like Shun, even Korchin, Oirat, all them. That'll put us 2 mil techs ahead of a lot of these guys. Alright, so of course, even though we are a whole mil tech ahead of the Ming, you still want to be careful. Still want to navigate past their armies if you can. Only fight them in defensive battles. I'm also going to actually burn my capital here. Make it a little bit more defendable. We do not have a fort here. It's actually one of the few provinces in China that does not have a fort. So we're going to do defensive edict here and hope for the best. And here we go. I guess we're going to get caught into a battle here. Yeah, this is not, oh, yeah, no, not looking too good. Can we potentially get our army out of here? They're going to retreat to Kaifeng, which is literally the worst spot for them to retreat to. Dog, why are we retreating to Kaifeng when I could literally march through my allies in Shi and Shu? This makes no sense at all. Alright, I guess I'll hire the free company and hope for the best there. My free company is literally marching into Shi right now. Why? Why was my army not able to retreat into my allies but into Kaifeng? That makes no sense. Alright, what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is we're going to sell some titles. We're going to take out some loans, even though they are 5 ducat loans. I did occupy this province here. Now, the issue is trying to find a mercenary company that I actually can hire in this freaking province. Because I don't think that there's a single one. Yeah, I can't hire any of these guys. I literally need to go save my capital right now. I mean, right now, with my allies backing me up, it is more of an equal battle. But man, I still don't know why the Ming troops are apparently just straight up better than mine. They're not taking casualties. I swear, I'm getting horrible dice rolls right now. Horrible. And I'm about to lose my capital, probably. So far, I've lost my capital. We're unsieging it. I got all my allies to join me in the same army. I also royal married Korea over here in hopes of maybe getting an alliance as soon as I'm independent from these guys. It's horrible. Like, just watching those 2 battles was just absolutely horrible. I mean, at least all I need to do is just keep my allies on my army, just siege down these provinces, maybe get Ming's capital, and we should be able to get 25% war score and just simply win this. That would be great. What is not great is apparently Xi decided that they're out of here, and yeah, I don't know where they're going. I really wish that they would stay. I also wish apparently that Xi got here before me, even though everybody's attached to my army. And yeah, I can't assault this fort even though there's only 200 guys here. Alright, with the capital unsieged, I'm now recruiting 2 mercenary companies over here. I'm recruiting the Shanxi Guard and also the Yangning Warriors as well, just to go ahead and hopefully give us a little bit of an advantage, especially if I'm going to end up on my own, because I honestly don't trust my allies right now. This is the entire Ming army down here, and what my plan is, just try and siege down as much of Ming as possible while they're busy with Min, because Min has some really difficult forts to actually siege since they're on the coastline there, and this is also a capital fort in which Ming is probably going to lose the majority of their manpower just simply sitting on that province. I finally hit 25% war score. Ming is currently at Miltech 4. We're going to take this. We're at Miltech 5. Boom. Do this. I'm at Miltech 6 now, baby. Which is great. Especially if I had cavalry, but I mean, being 2 Miltechs ahead of somebody, yeah, we should be able to whoop some butt here. Especially when they don't have a general. Look at that. So much better. So much freaking better. And now we're going to go completely on the offensive and attack Ming's troops as they try to unsiege down their capital. And my allies just simply watch as I'm probably just barely going to win that. Wish the events did not pop up while I was in the middle of that, but we won that battle nonetheless. All I need to do is just keep on winning. Keep on winning these battles, man. Because what I need right now is, of course, my independence. Just 23% war score. I would love it if I could get these 2 provinces, because those are part of my state. It also allows me to invade both Chu and Qi. Now, how much money can I get out of here? 186 ducats. Now, I would only get 45 ducats out of this. Now, my loans are only 5 ducats each, but I mean, I'm able to take a ton of those out. I want to see if I can't get, like, the majority of Ming's money out of this one war. And now, Wu just declared its independence from China, because guess what? They're backed by both Ashikaga and Korea, and of course Chu, Yan, and Qi. And not even to mention, but to give credit where credit's due here, yeah, I completely annihilated Ming's entire army, so you're welcome. And all of a sudden, this is what Ming's map mode is looking like, as Jin just declared independence as well. They're allied to Yue, Ning, Yan, and Qin, which none of those guys actually joined to help them out. Alright, I'm going to do something like this. I'm just going to take these 2 provinces and get my independence. There's going to be 1,000 ducats out of this war. I'm not taking that much land because I'm going to be using that Unified China CB in a little bit here to start knocking out some of these guys. So there we go. I'll take this. And we look at all the people that we have a truce with all of a sudden, it's literally everybody around us right now. And yeah, we're not going to be able to invade any of these guys that are currently fighting for their independence, like Jin or Yan right now, because I do have a truce with them until 64. I'm just going to go ahead and delete all my mercenary armies. No longer needed. Core up everything in my home state here and lower the autonomy because, again, it is in my state, so I can lower the autonomy here right away. And let's go ahead and start hiring a bunch of troops. We can just kind of gear up, not necessarily for a next war, but just, I guess, yeah, for a next war. I'm also going to start breaking alliances with some of these guys, and hopefully allying a nation like Korea would be absolutely fantastic. It will honestly help us preserve our independence. I'm just going to break my alliance with literally all these guys I just allied. I don't need them anymore. And here we go, a more accurate view of China fighting the world right now as Lan Shang, Khmer, and Dai Viet are also getting involved as Qi is trying to break free. I don't know why Lan Shang is involved here. They're not allied to any of these Chinese guys unless they tried to enforce peace. And Khmer is in this war because of Qin. So that's kind of interesting. Poor Ming. Poor Ming at the end of the day of all this, but you know what? In our case, in our game, it's for the better. Finally, I got Admin Tech 5 in 1463, so it allows us to go ahead and look at some of these ideas. So, Chinese ideas, that's right, we don't get any unique ones. We're not like Yi, we're not like Shun, we're not like Qing, Yue, or Wu. We just have generic Chinese ideas. We get manpower recovery speed plus 10%, admin tech cost minus 5%, and national manpower plus 25% once all the ideas are done. Possible advisor plus 1, stab cost, production efficiency, prestige, plus 10% infantry combat ability, legitimacy and mandate growth, along with diplomatic reputation. Now, for our very first idea, we're so far ahead in terms of military tech, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm thinking we're going to pick up quantity ideas. I'm not going to be going quality this run. I'm just going with the sheer amount of troops against everybody in the world. I'm going to go ahead and invade Jin, who I do not have a land connection with, but I have that Unified China CB, and as I mentioned earlier, all these provinces, you siege them down, they're all going to become cores anyway, so let's go ahead and do exactly that. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean, and I mean, we're going to be able to full annex these guys in one war, and it's going to increase our power base, again, without us having to actually directly own any land. And some of these nations like Yan will be even better to invade just to continuously expand here and eventually get the Qi, who will then allow us to connect our land. So as you guys can see here, the province of Luan, I do not have a core here. I'm going to go ahead, occupy that province, and all of a sudden I have a core here, meaning, again, it's going to be a lot cheaper to go ahead and take that in one simple war. Also, I just noticed something very unfortunate is Jin apparently has a 3-star general who's a 4632. I really don't want to fight that. But I will go ahead, hire the Free Company to help just bolster out my troops and try and deter them from fighting me. Especially since I am 1 mil tech ahead of them. Hopefully they don't want to fight me. And here we go, fighting their guys up in the mountains of their capital as we just barely beat these guys in hand-to-hand combat. Because I do own all these provinces, they are all my cores. Now, in terms of a peace, obviously I could get these provinces I occupy. I could maybe? No, almost full annex them. I don't think Xuanha or I did not. Oh yeah, well, I'm very close to being able to full annex these guys. I can actually get a pretty favorable peace deal right now, making them OPM. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and take that right now. I don't feel like sieging down that fort, especially since it is up in the mountains, but we did win another war. Rip my admin on 1 or 2 provinces. That's okay. As I mentioned, don't want to be fighting a fort for right now. Now I'm going to be launching yet another war, this time against my former ally of Xi, because they are allied to the nation of Qin, and I may be able to full annex these guys, which would be great because, again, I could connect my borders, of course, clean borders, EU4, everything. But more importantly, these guys are allied to an absurd amount of guys, and I really want to get rid of them, especially because I want to invade the nation of Qi. But they're allied to both them and Dai Viet, and I don't even necessarily want to fight Dai Viet unless I absolutely have to. Let's go ahead and do this. Unify China, CB. Always make sure you do this one. Never to humiliate rival. Don't do conquest. Always unify China. You'll get your free cores. Now for our tier 3 government reform, I will be going with expanded royal court, though we do have a unique one, which is the examination system. We'll get back to that one a little bit later because we do have a mission when we do become the Emperor of China, which does require us to at least have that reform. So for right now, expanded royal court, especially since we're so small. Alright, and there we go. We full occupy Xi and Qin. Now it is fair to mention, I did not co-belligerent the nation of Qin, and still I got a core on all of their Chinese stuff. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we are going to do something like this. I will just go ahead, return Ordos to Ming, just for the heck of it, just so that way Qin is no longer a thing. And we'll just go ahead and take some money. Or actually, here's what we're going to do. I could full annex Qin. I could release out Mongolia. There we go. I like the sound of that. So we'll do this. And now I'm going to release out Mongolia as a subject. And we'll go ahead and use them to actually get some of those cores back from Oirat at some point. It'll be fantastic. Now, in terms of missions here, I did complete the one solidify our domain just simply by growing by 100 development. We are currently at 157 development. We get monthly war exhaustion and core creation costs for the next 25 years. Now, if I own Beijing, I could complete this mission, get 25 prestige, 20 power projection, and at some point I do have to become the Emperor of China. Though I guess right now I apparently have the highest development and largest army on the Chinese subcontinent. You wouldn't think it, especially because typically this northern part's pretty low dev, but yeah, I guess, like, I don't know if maybe, yeah, Qin devved up their capital 5 times. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. So Qin was definitely doing some development over here. I'm okay with that. That's fantastic. Now, while we get cores when we occupy the provinces and just simply, you know, we don't have to spend the admin points on them for that, you know, those situations, when you go to make these provinces into a state, you do have to actually sit there and core these provinces. So that part is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, stating up something and getting that extra bit of money and manpower is perfect. I'm A-okay with that. We're going to start gearing up for hopefully our next war. And I'm hoping it's going to be against Qi over here, or even Yan. Yan would actually be the most ideal one because Haishi is allied to them. And Haishi's not exactly the strongest. So scratch that. I noticed the nation of Shu down here doesn't have any allies, and in fact they just subjugated the nation of Xi, who we were just at war with. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and invade Shu. And it actually may be worth it to start expanding southwards first, even though I don't like how Oirat apparently has Mao over here as a subject. It's just them. But of course they want all of China, the greedy Oirats. And then again, it helps when you're a whole mil tech ahead of these guys. These battles are super freaking easy all of a sudden. Even if you have relatively similar numbers, or if you're fighting in unfavorable terrain like that province, which is a mountains province. Now I am going to try and see if no, I'm not going to be able to get their army. The army could just keep running, that's fine. But I will go ahead and start sieging down the capital in Chengdu, which does have a great project here, which is very nice and is going to be really, really good for our entire economy. So with us apparently being the largest guy over here, though I would argue that Wu's probably a little bit stronger than us, we are actually making about 7 ducats a month. We have 400 ducats just chilling. We are going to actually start building up our army. I didn't realize that we could have almost 30,000 guys right now. So yeah, let's get a little bit closer to 30,000 guys. Especially with that combat width being 24, we want to make sure that we are as close to that combat width as possible. So something like this, where I have 16 infantry, 4 cavalry, and an additional for infantry. So yeah, that's going to put us right at our combat with a 24 for maximum hitting power, pretty much. So we're going to do a little bit of another weird style war here. We're going to invade the nation of Yue down here. They do have Chongsheng as a subject. Again, unified China CB, allowing us to go ahead, full core these guys, not having to spend any admin, except for if we decide to state up the land. And apparently, again, since I'm the biggest guy down here, apparently might as well start flexing on everybody and showing that I am the strongest Chinese guy over here right now. And there we go. This war was unnecessarily difficult just because they just, I don't know, they just like split up their armies and stuff. And to be honest with you, it just made things more painful than it needed to be. But I mean, regardless, we won. I guess that's really all that matters. And we're going to start gearing up for a war against Chu. As soon as I see that Wu over here is not interested in helping him out. I'm also going to be moving my capital actually to the province of Luoyang over here. This traditionally has been the capital of the Tang dynasty, especially during the time of Wu Zetian and also some of the previous emperors as well too, and even one of her sons. So Luoyang, kind of sort of an important province. Though I know Nanyang was also very important. It's just she would travel between the two all the time. So I'm assuming that's why the devs at E4 chose Nanyang, even though Luoyang is kind of the more recognizable capital of the Tang dynasty. You know what? This may be a mistake, but we're just going to go for it. We're going to invade Wu, who's currently trying to take over the emperorship from the Ming. And we're going to try and just simply conquer as much of them as possible in one war. I think we should be able to actually full annex their ally at Chu down here, Gesundheit. And yeah, we should be able to take a huge chunk of Wu. And I'm actually going to focus on Chu first. All right, so luckily, this war's been pretty rough on me. All right, so I was able to get Chu out of here. I made them break their alliance with Wu, Yan, and Shun. I didn't take any land for myself. I just took all their money and ran. I was able to call my ally Korea. They 1v1 Ashikaga and beat the crap out of them. So now it's just me and Korea versus Wu. And Wu's basically completely out of manpower at this point. We outnumber them, and honestly, I think we should be able to win this. I don't think we'll be able to take a lot of land out of them. Though I guess that really depends on the amount of war score and the total amount of cores that I could take out of these guys. But, I mean, we could take like almost their entire country. Like, literally half their country in this one war. And I mean, we may even be able to take more if these provinces become our cores. So this is what our peace deal with Wu is going to look like. All of these provinces, except for this one, are all of our cores. I'll take 300 ducats, the bare minimum that they could give me at this point. I'm going to go ahead and delete my Merc company. I need to start paying off these loans. So yeah, let's also delete our independent army. And I'm going to go ahead and chill for a couple years. Honestly, not super long. Just simply because obviously we still have a lot of China to unify, and it's only 1486, but I still feel like we need to keep moving forward and just chugging along and just keep beating up on these guys nearby to us. I'm also going to go ahead and move our capital to Luoyang and start deving up our capital here for the Renaissance. I also think this is, no, it's not a center of trade. Xi'an is, but still, regardless, this is a pretty darn good province with Chinaware and eventually coal. It's very cheap to develop, especially with it being farmlands as well. And for those of you that are curious where we are in terms of great power status, we're number 6. If we had the Renaissance, we would currently be number 3 with 570 development. Also, I want to know what the heck is going on with Hungary at the fact that they have a subject. Unless it's maybe Croatia, but they are currently number 7. So after encouraging development with the edict, also expanding infrastructure here, of course our capital is here. This will only cost us 23 monarch points to develop each time. And of course, we're going to be going straight for the Renaissance, especially since colonialism is kind of creeping up on us here. It's going to be here sooner than you know. So yeah, let's go ahead and just start spamming this bad boy just to get Renaissance. Tier 4 government reform, we could go with strengthen Confucian bureaucracy. religious harmonization speed, which I mean, I haven't even talked about Confucianism just yet, but this gives us additional admin tech cost. Pretty nice, especially when you're using all your admin to state everything up. But you could also harmonize with different religions as well too, and each one gives you additional bonuses. Like the pagan group will give us national unrest. Vajrayana will give us an additional plus 10% production efficiency. I'm not really worried about those right now. You know, in the meantime here, I'm thinking we're going to go with curtail clerical privileges, make the admin tech even cheaper. Because why not? So we have admin tech that's going to be 25% cheaper with our admin, with our Chinese traditions, the fact that we are Confucian, and the fact I just took curtail clerical privileges as well too. So we're going to have some very, very cheap admin. All right, our truce with Hu is over, so we're going to do our unified China CB. I think I'm just going to white piece out Wu, and then Yan we actually will try and take some provinces from. But I don't see this being that big of a war, to be honest with you, especially now, because I could muster up almost 90,000 troops. I currently only have 30,000, but I could probably handle another 30k guys to bring me up to 60,000 total troops. I could just easily just beat up both of these nations with. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and invade Shun using Unified China. I'm going to call in Lan Sheng and Kam. Or actually, I'm not going to call in Kam. Does Lan Sheng want anything from Dali? Just Kam. Alright, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and invade Shun, call in Lan Sheng. That'll break Lan Sheng and Dali's alliance. Don't think I'll be able to actually annex these guys. But, you know what? It should be fine. Second idea group time. I mean, honestly, we're probably going to go with trade, because, I mean, the policy between trade and quantity is so good with that extra 15% goods produced, especially in China. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so I did a war against Wu here, and what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is just straight up take the mandate of having away from these guys all their money. So that's right, we are now the Emperor of China. We do have some mandate, but it is going down fast considering how much devastation is actually in our empire here. And to be honest with you, that's really not going to change as I continue to just go ahead and expand. But being the Emperor of China is actually pretty nice. I know most people typically don't like being the Emperor of China, but I actually enjoy it. As long as you just don't dip below 50, you're pretty much fine. Your empire will not collapse on you. And to make things actually a little bit easier, what we could do is proclaim a dynastic name. That's going to give us a little bit more mandate growth. And pretty much you just want really good advisors. That's just going to make things easier for you. As long as you have good advisors, you're okay. And a great thing about being the Emperor of China also is you actually get access to all of these new missions for the Empire of China. So you're no longer just these missions for just being a Chinese kingdom, but now you have the whole Empire of China mechanics. These missions are pretty cool, pretty fun. I enjoy most of these. You also get access to the eunuchs, which, to be honest with you, is really the only downside of being the Emperor of China. These guys give you like both positive bonuses and negative bonuses. So it's like this one, for example, advisor costs, governing capacity, as long as these guys own land, and then they give you corruption. So like all of the eunuchs just basically give you a ton of corruption, which of course brings down your mandate even more. The more corruption you have, the more your mandate goes down. All right, with our truce with Yan being over, of course, we're just going to go ahead, keep on trying to unify China, especially because we actually lose out on some mandate if we don't own Beijing or Nanjing. Same thing with Canton as well too. So those three provinces are like the most important provinces to actually own. With Beijing finally being mine, I do get a permanent claim on the Manchuria region. And of course the Forbidden City, which is actually a really good monument, especially with that yearly absolutism and mandate growth modifier, gets upgraded by 1. We also gain 25 mandate. Great, I'm not going to lower it anytime soon, but yeah. For my tier 5 government reform, I'm going to go with the waste wall system, which basically barracks and training fields give an additional 15 or 30% garrison growth. Regimental camps and conscription centers give an additional 25% to 50% local garrison size, and soldier households give minus 50% local recruitment time. And in addition to that, you get cheaper regiments minus 15%. So it's a decent one. It's not the most amazing one. It's just, to be honest with you, I'm just going for it for like LARPing purposes, to be honest. All right, I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and try and retake a ton of these cores back from Oirat. I am starting to get the Unguarded Nomadic Frontier Disaster, which is horrible. I mean, if you have a neighbor who's 300 development that is a nomadic horde, you will get that disaster. So might as well cut these guys down to size. And we'll attack them for this province right here, wherever that is right there. All right, I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and invade the nation of Dali over here. Unify China, CB of choice, best one. And I mean, yeah, this does plunge us into a war against both Ayutthaya and Khmer, but honestly, I don't see that being that big of a problem. I also vassalized the nation of Tonkin down here. We do have ambitions to go ahead and actually conquer half of Dai Viet, what was Dai Viet before Lan Sheng decided to show up. You know what? I kind of forgot that Ming was still around, so we're going to go ahead and just finish them off. They're only allied to Dai Viet, who's a 2-province minor. I don't really even care to invade Dai Viet, to be honest with you, and conquer them. I don't need them. We're just going straight for Ming. So unfortunate news is my Empress is actually dead. So I'm going to have to just straight up wait 4 years until our heir reaches of age. Alright, we're going to begin our invasion of Indochina here. We're going to do a ton of reconquest for Tonkin. I also subjugated the nation of Tangu. I made them into a march. I have no plan of integrating them. Tonkin, however, I do eventually plan on integrating. And we will co-belligerent Ava as well, too. Alright, so our truce with the Oirat is over. We're just going to go ahead and pursue some more claims that we have on these guys. Reconquest, of course. And again, we are getting that Unguarded Nomadic Frontier Disaster just constantly popping up with these guys. Only way to get rid of that is just knocking them down in size. Tier 6 government reform. We're going to go with that Royal Decree 1. Absolutism sounds great. At least for me. Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and do this. And this wants us to enact the examination system. Yeah, we could do that. In the meantime, I could actually start revoking some of these, because we are in the Age of Reformation. We have about 70 years before the Age of Absolutism, so it's, kind of good to get a head start on some of this stuff. Also going to get rid of religious diplomats, as I'm like one of the only Confucian nations left. Actually, no. I did force both Dai Viet and Arakan to become Confucian, so that's kind of funny. I'm also going to begin harmonizing with the Theravada religious group. It's going to give me cheaper advisors, minus 10%. Might as well. Alright, so now my ruler's 15 years old. We're going to go ahead, complete that mission, make him a conqueror, get 3 monarch points in every category. So now he's a 556. He went from just being like some lowly little 223 guy to a 556 who's an inspiring leader and a conqueror. He's only 15 years old. Also, we hit positive mandate again, which means time to go back to war once we hit 100 admin. I'm thinking until our truce with Oirat is up, so in like 4 years here, we're going to start expanding down here into Burma just to basically bolster up my subject of Tangu. They're a very, very good nation actually down here in Indochina. And on top of that, they actually have their own unique mission tree. Some really good ideas and stuff, and they could actually form Burma. They're one of my favorite nations in the game, so I do have a little bit of a soft spot for these guys. So yeah, we're going to make them very, very strong down here. Third idea group, we have quantity, trade. I mean, I guess I could do something like economic, or even like administrative, but we're not really struggling in terms of governing capacity, like at all. I mean, innovative is also really good. Yeah, we'll just do innovative. And then maybe later on I will go ahead and take quality ideas just to get some more infantry combat ability between quality and innovative ideas. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit crazy. We're going to go for a conquest war against the Russians here. This is like 50-50 if this is going to work. We're going to go for this province right here. We technically outnumber them on the border. Let's just go, 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 go. Well, here we go. Finally, we get to fight some Russians over here. And discipline, they're a little bit better. Morale, I'm a little bit better. And their tactics are a little bit better. In other words, we're like equal, just Russia's just slightly better.
Oh, and now Russia's stuck in the War of the Protestant League, and guess what? Commonwealth is invading Russia. Oh, this is wonderful. This could not have been timed, like, perfectly. This is literally working out in my favor so well. We're marching to Moscow, boys. Freaking finally, I could get exactly what I want. I hated that war. It wasn't even like a hard war. Why is my name all the way over here? But like that war wasn't even necessarily hard. It just was so long and dragged out for no freaking reason at all. Alright, let's send all the boys home from their trip in Moscow here. And pretty much our next plan is going to be just straight up invade Transoceania over here. I have no more plans of invading Russia. Actually, ironically enough, I don't need anything from Russia. Alright, with Transoceania out of the way, we just have one more nation to just knock down the size, and that's the Timurids, and we don't even need that much from them. We actually just need like the province of Herat, and then like these two provinces over here, and that's it. I mean, that's looking pretty good. We just gotta integrate our subject to Tonkin, and yeah, I'm just gonna take those couple provinces from Korea once my truce is up, and honestly, like, that's where I'll call it. Not bad. Almost 1600, 1570. I mean, considering that we started out as literally just a OPM and Nanyang to all the way to this, and we could have, you know, almost 200,000 troops at this point. Like, I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now.
You know what? The year 1610, we're almost done with this campaign. To be honest with you, we've been done for a little bit, but I just want to clean up my borders. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and declare a golden era. We have more than enough universities, potential for a large army, and of course I'm the Emperor of China. And here we go. This is our empire in 1615. From a one province minor to the second greatest power, number one greatest power in the world. Sorry, Britain was number one for a little bit there. So literally from a one province minor all the way up to the number one great power in the world. This is what our empire looks like. We have officially revived the Tang dynasty, even conquering a little bit more land, as Tibet in real life gave the Tang dynasty a bit of a challenge, so to say, especially because Tibet would burn down much of central China. With all that being said, let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comment section down below if you'd like to see more videos like this, where I kind of take nations that have, or dynasties or countries, whatever, that have been dead and bring them back to life. And of course, let me know in the comments what was your favorite part about this video also. So with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.